What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/EntitledParents. Now, in today's first story, an entitled mum at a public library asks a random innocent kid if she can borrow his laptop so her son can play Fortnite. But guys, before we jump into that one, please make sure you are subscribed if you aren't already. I'm trying to hit 600,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. And also, I'll be uploading twice every single day throughout December, so you want to be subscribed to not miss out on that double daily dosage. Entitled mum tries to steal my laptop so her kid could play Fortnite. From all the entitled parent stories I have read, I think it's a good time to share mine. This happened before quarantine, but that doesn't really matter as much to this story. So I was studying in the library and waiting for my parents to pick me up when an entitled mum and her entitled kid approached me. The conversation then starts like this. "Excuse me, young man, the library's computer couldn't work, so can my kid please play Fortnite on your laptop?" Mind you, I'd be lucky if my computer could run a standard browser game. "Sorry, but I'm doing my assignments now, so I need my computer," I say. "Oh, I know you are not studying. You better share it with my kid, or I'll talk to your parents." "Sorry, but I really can't look. Your kid can play it on the library's computer using my card. You want me to register it for you? Just be sure to sign out after 1 hour." "But can it play Fortnite?" "Probably not. I'm pretty sure you need to register and download all that stuff." "Oh, please let him play. It'll just be a few minutes." "Sorry, I really can't." The kid then tries to grab my laptop, but it's avoided by me. The entitled mum storms away. A few minutes later, they both come back with the library staff, who comes over to me. "Hey, buddy, I need you to give this kid back his laptop." Pardon me?" Look, you can't just grab people's laptops without asking, especially someone this small, like this kid. "I'm pretty sure that's mine. I have all my Gmail and stuff." I proceed to show the library staff my work. This member of staff then asks the entitled mum, "Are you sure it's your kid's?" "Yeah, actually, I let my kid play on my work laptop." "Do you by any chance have an assignment on animal population genetics?" "Yes, I'm actually a science teacher and I'm marking my students' projects." At this point, I was devastated that this entitled mum would go this far to get some random kid's laptop. So I say to the staff, "Is it possible for you to check the security cams? I'm pretty sure you guys have those installed." "Okay, just wait here." The entitled mum then proceeds to dash out of the library at a speed that even Usain Bolt would be jealous of. The staff member then comes back to me to apologize for what happened, but it was all good in the end. Look, fair enough, if this entitled mum was genuinely asking to borrow this guy's laptop because, he wasn't using it and her son needed it for some sort of schoolwork or anything like that, I'd say completely fine, that makes sense to me. But to play Fortnite on, I mean, come on, this is the problem now with 2020. All kids want to play Fortnite, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in a public library, there's a little bit wrong with that. Let's just say that. Now for our next story. My sister demanded we share my daughter. Okay, so this happened a few years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday, and to be honest, I still can't understand what my sister was thinking. A little backstory. My sister and I had to share everything as kids. Not to mention, I was forced to be her and our younger brother's second mother, but I'll put that in a different post. For some of my childhood, I was happy to share things with my sister. Sweets, snacks, toys, the normal kid things. There's 4 years between us. I'm the oldest, and as you can probably guess, when I reached my teen years, I wanted my own things and to spend time alone. Nope. She wanted me to do everything with her. I could barely spend 10 minutes in the bathroom before she would start banging on the door. Unfortunately, when I was around 15, my siblings and I were taken into foster care. We were separated from our brother, which was difficult for both of us. And for a while, I didn't mind my sister wanting to spend all of her time with me. Shortly after my 16th birthday, I wanted to have my own space and things that are, well, mine. She would argue with me over not sharing my stuff, and of course, typical sibling fights and yelling happened almost every other day. We sort of grew out of our sibling squabbles over the years, but she kind of developed the world owes me attitude, which drove me crazy. I did my best to hold in my frustrations, but I'm human, and sometimes I kind of snapped. A couple years after my daughter was born, my sister and I weren't really talking much because of her selfish attitude towards me, and I spent most of my time and income on my daughter. During then one of the times we were on good terms, she was over for the weekend and everything was okay. Until a conversation led to her telling me she was going to take my daughter for a week because she wanted to spend time with her because it was my turn. I said, nah, not gonna happen. She is my daughter, not a doll or a pet we share. But she gets mad and starts yelling. I told her to leave, but she argues how she had parental rights and social services will force me to allow her to take my daughter whenever she wants. I just laughed and told her to get out and not come back. Honestly, I don't know if she seriously thought that it was her right to have my daughter. I've actually got plenty of other insane stories about my family, which I may post about at some point. Thanks for reading my crazy story. Yeah, again, while I totally get that, siblings want to share stuff, especially when they're younger and they see their older sibling with something that they kind of, want to have a go with, like a toy or something like that, as OP described at the start of the story, sharing a baby. That is a new one for me. I've not heard about that before, guys. I've not heard about two sisters sharing a baby before. Have you heard that? I doubt it. It's a very weird one. Could it work? No. I mean, seriously, after sharing a baby, what comes next? Sharing a husband? Sharing a house? Sharing eventually a funeral? I'm not completely sure. It's a weird one. If you want to share everything with your sister and your sister's okay with it, I guess go ahead. But if she's not, in this post, then it's probably not on asking to share a baby. It's my turn to share that baby. No, it just doesn't really work like that. Now for our next story. Entitled parent accuses blind girl of being able to see. Gets handed an eyeful. I was reminded of this incident yesterday during a phone call with a friend from my college days. For a little background, my friend, I'll call her Jill, and I were both about 19 or 20 years old at the time of the incident in 1983. Do the math, and yes, I'm that old. Because Jill was blind, ocular melanoma, important for later, she had an advocate. There is another name for this, but for the life of me, I can't think of what it is, but you get the idea, that went everywhere with her on the university campus, kind of like a guide then, I guess. They made sure she made it safely to and from each of her classes and assisted her with test taking, etc. We met when Jill walked by my table in the student union hall, bumped my coffee, and spilled it all over both of us. We've been friends ever since. Because Jill lived off campus with her parents, and I lived in an off-campus apartment a few blocks away, I drove every day to school. We coordinated our class schedules so that I could drop her off to our advocate in the morning and in the afternoon, and the advocate would bring her to me and I would take her home at the end of the day. This one particular semester, Jill's last class on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday ended an hour before mine. Normally, her advocate would hang out with her in the student union hall to wait for me. Since it was Friday, Jill insisted that the advocate bring her to the building where I had class, and she would just wait for me there. It was closer to where I'd parked my car, and the advocate could also go home a little earlier. This was something Jill did occasionally just to be nice. I always took the same route out of the building and knew to be on the lookout for her. This day, Jill was in her usual spot in the lobby. She was sitting on the floor. There were no seats, with her back against the wall, her cane folded beside her, tinted glasses on, and appearing to stare straight ahead. To Jill's left were the lobby doors, about 30 feet away. Jill thinks she'd been sitting there for maybe 50 to 55 minutes when she heard what sounded like squeaky wheels rolling over the floor. She didn't bother to call out and just thought it was maybe the janitorial staff with those mop buckets on wheels getting an early start on mopping. Then she heard someone push the panic bar on one of the lobby's double doors and the wheels banging over the metal threshold. A moment later, a woman's voice filled the empty lobby. The conversation that ensued is the best of Jill's and my memory. What the heck is wrong with you young people? Never in my life have I seen so many inconsiderate brats in all my life. Jill said, I'm sorry? And you should be, young lady. You could see that I needed help with this hand truck, which is an upright metal thing with two wheels and a small base to put heavy stuff on to move it from one place to another. But you just sat there and did absolutely nothing. Didn't anyone teach you any manners? I didn't see you. How could you not see me? I'm the only other person here. I'm sorry, but I didn't see you. I'm blind. Oh, you really expect me to believe that? Blind people can't go to college. You're just too lazy to get off the floor. Jill pulled her cane around, unfolded it, and got to her feet. Yes, Mom, I am blind and I can go to college. At this point, I come round the corner. what is going on? Classes are letting out and students are beginning to leave or change classes. This girl expects me to believe she's blind. She is. Oh, that's a load of rubbish. Prove it. The woman walks up to Jill and takes the tinted glasses from her face. See? She directs this to the students who were hanging around to watch the drama as if she expected them to agree with her or take her side. She can see. There is nothing wrong with her eyes. She's not really blind. As I stated earlier, Jill had ocular melanoma. As a result, her eyes were surgically removed and she was fitted with prosthesis that looked real at a quick glance but didn't move like normal eyes and were a bit flat in their color. It was kind of like looking into the eyes of a very old doll. However, the best part of Jill's eyes, they were removable. Jill reached up, popped one eyeball out, and held it out to the woman. Here, look through this and tell me if you can see anything. At this point, the entitled parent backed away, screeching loudly, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" The woman backed away from us so fast, she tripped over either her own feet or those of gathering students, landed on her butt, and continued to just scoot away. When she got to the door, she pulled herself up, grabbed her hand truck, and left. Jill maneuvered the eye back into the socket. The small crowd of students started clapping and laughing, and a few gave Jill a pat on the back. Jill sighed dramatically. Ugh, so much for that lady seeing things through my eyes, huh? Jeez, I love Jill's humor. Yeah, honestly, the sad thing about this story is that it's probably happened to Jill multiple times before, and she's probably used to people saying, "Oh, what are you doing not helping me? Come on, you're just sitting there not doing anything. What are you doing? Just help me out. I'm an older person. I need your help." Or, you know, something like that. It's just amazing that she can see the good things in that and try and make a joke out of it, and at least, you know, make it funny for the people around her. The eye gag is really good. But overall, look, Jill's an amazing person, and yeah, she doesn't deserve this rubbish from people like this. Now for our final story. Apparently, I pay rent to be a doorman. I live in a block of 6 flats in Scotland on the top floor. It's okay, fairly quiet, and the neighbours are nice. I know who all of them are. The main front door requires a key fob to enter, or you need to buzz someone in if they ring your intercom. I've only managed to lock myself out once so far. What a result. So, this afternoon, I finally decided to brave the cold and take the recycling out. Key fob in my pocket. We have these big communal bins out on the pavements. One for cardboard, one for mixed recycling. You get the idea. The cardboard bin is across the street, opposite a row of parked cars. In our street, you can only park on one side of the road as it's a one-way street because of a nearby primary school. While I'm putting the recycling in the cardboard bin, I'm vaguely aware of someone leaving our block and heading towards one of the parked cars. I didn't think much of it, finished my cardboard disposal, and turned to go back inside. On my way, I see that the person who left the building is a youngish man I've never seen before. I let myself back inside with my key fob and let the main front door shut behind me before heading back upstairs to my flat where it's nice and warm. 10 minutes later, there's a quite aggressive knocking at my door. I go to answer it, thinking it might be a parcel, to find the same youngish man, YM, from outside standing there, and he looks furious. "Can I help you?" "Yeah, why didn't you hold the door open?" "I beg your pardon?" "I know, I'm very English." "You came inside from doing the bins and didn't hold the door open for me. That is so effing rude." "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were behind me." "I wasn't behind you. I was just getting something from my car, but I don't have a key fob, so you should have waited." Wait, you wanted me to stand outside in the freezing cold for 10 minutes, waiting for you to finish messing about in your car so I could let you back into the building? Well, yeah, that's the neighborly thing to do. Okay, no, first of all, I don't know you. You're not my neighbor. I don't let strange men into a building I live in. Second of all, technically, you're not supposed to be here. I know you don't live here, and visiting households indoors isn't allowed in this part of Scotland, obviously because of Corona. Third, whoever it is you're visiting could easily have given you their fob or buzz you back in. I'm not going to freeze my nipples off for anyone, especially you. Now, go away before I phone the police. He stomped back downstairs after that, fuming but silent. I might text my landlord and ask for a reduction in rent if I'm going to be a doorman as well. I locked my door, but his car isn't outside anymore, and I'm sure I heard my actual neighbors laughing at him when he went back downstairs. I mean, the impression I get with this guy overall is he's just very rude. Why would anyone in their right mind wait for someone to put all their rubbish in the recycling, like know that they're there, watching them do their recycling, put their rubbish away, then like get stuff out of their car, mess around as OP said, and then let them back into the building? If you're there and someone's right behind you, or just like a few steps back, then fair enough, hold the door for them. That's a nice thing to do, but you don't wait for like 5-10 minutes for them whilst they're outside, especially if it's cold. This is Scotland we're talking about. It's not exactly the warmest country in the world, is it? But yeah, overall, very rude guy. What's wrong with just pressing the buzzer and letting yourself back in via the person whose house it is? You don't even live there, so you can't just like tell a resident to wait around. And yeah, as OP says, he's not getting paid to be a doorman after all. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Entitled Parents. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did and you want more right away, check out this playlist full of my Entitled Parents videos, every single one that I've ever made. Pretty insane stuff. Also, if you are new around here, make sure you're subscribed, hitting this button over here. And if you're a long-term subscriber and you want some fancy merch, check it out right here.